And how did you know, like, so how did you get into actually buying flats? Like what, what
It all started
got you
with a
into
friend of
needing to
ours.
own? Yeah.
Yeah, a friend of ours just bought some flats, and I was talking to her, and she said to us, she's buying some flats, and I just thought, "What do you mean you're buying some flats?" And she says, "Yeah, because then we'll rent them out, and then just make a bit of income like that." And I thought, that sounds like interesting. So, by this time, my husband and I have got our own home, so we are, and I was lucky to marry my husband because his home was he had no mortgage, so we had a very comfortable life, if that makes sense. And so yeah, so I'm just thinking, oh, so I can do that. I can just do this. So she put me in touch with a company that intended to be this company. I mean, in the long term, basically, it took 10 years to deliver the flat that I bought, which knocked my confidence down because obviously this flat now, because of the Grenfell Tower and everything, has issues, and we still have the flat still worth 125 years, £125,000 after 10 years.
Well, it hasn't gone up at all.
No. And if I sell it nowadays, I don't
Sorry,
even
I don't mean to laugh. I'm just.
No. It's to show you that, success in property doesn't mean that every deal is going to go right. And
Yeah.
it doesn't mean that success in property doesn't mean that you're not going to make mistakes. And I was a rookie. I didn't have a clue. Someone said to me, just give me 20K and I'll give you a flat. Great. I didn't check anything. I didn't know anything. All I thought was I rent it out. It makes money. That's all I care.
But it is rented out. You are getting money.
Yeah. It's always been a cash cow, that
Yeah.
flat. It's been giving me money from day one. It's just that it's never increased its capital value.
Oh, okay.
So,
And so if a flat doesn't increase its capital value, do you still think it's worth it on a very long-term basis? Or do you think that you want to also buy something that at least increases in value as well?
I think this is two different strategies. You either buy for cash or you buy for capital appreciation. In this case, I had not, at that time when I bought that flat, I didn't have an idea. I didn't know what I was doing. I just wanted, okay, I'll just have a little bit of the money. So I bought for what I thought was a cash investment. The idea was that it was going to go up in value, but it didn't. But it
was it 10% deposit?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was a very cheap flat for me to buy off plan and everything. So I thought I was just doing the deal of the year. But obviously, so it depends on what you want. And a mixed portfolio or a balanced portfolio would be such that actually has both ends. A bit that it has the cash, so that it's generating income, but also you want to have assets which are growing in value.
Yeah.
And
But both are rentals. But both are rentals as well, though.
Pardon?
Both are rental property. You're buying, even though one's going up in value and the other one's kind of holding its value, you're still renting both of them out.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly. So that's the idea. So the idea is to make money on a passive way. So, you rent that, if you have an agent managing it, you're not doing anything other than just sitting there, getting income through. So that was the idea. We just thought, okay, we'll just buy some more. So we bought a few things like this, and then one of the companies that we got educated in property. My husband and I suddenly started going to seminars, and then my husband thought, I know what to do. I don't need any of this. And I thought, well, I don't. So I'm going to go. So my husband decided he was not going to get involved on the property, and then I decided to educate myself highly. And then it was when I decided to educate myself highly, then suddenly I realized what was first. So then it's when I realized my husband and my values were always looking after the tenants. That was our number one priority. Whether it made money for us or not, I could not sleep at night if there was something wrong with the tenant or there was something wrong with the house. So we started putting tenant first in everything that we did. And so we started doing the houses as if they were for us. Yes, the refurbishments were more expensive, but guess what? Because the house was finished to such a high standards, I was starting to attract the highest rent in the road. So every time I would buy a house, then suddenly that house would be the more expensive house in the market. Like in a road where a 3-bedroom house would rent out between £1,200 and £1,200, my house would rent at 15 or 1700 for the same house.
So,
Exactly. The same house.
yeah. So the value was always being essentially reached in
Yeah,
terms of the return.
exactly. So the return was always there for us. And we started to run the business through certain standards. Like, you know, we have within 24 hours, we always answer the calls from the tenants directly. They don't get diverted. You know, within 48 hours of reporting something, they will have someone on site to check, to actually fix the issue, or if not, to just get it. So we have very, very clear operational procedures to do it. And it was actually through COVID that we're running the business successfully and everything is fine. And then through COVID really hits us. That two things. First of all is that we were very fortunate and we never had any problems with our tenants. The tenants who couldn't pay, we made agreements with them. We helped them to do it. We tried to help them, but even that, there was only a couple of them amongst all of our tenants. So we were quite successful. We didn't raise rents for 2 years. We still haven't raised any rents, and we have promised our tenants that we will not raise anything until 1 year's been cleared completely. So we try to just be very sympathetic to our tenants because we like to make sure that they feel at home and they don't feel threatened. And it was during COVID that, you know, people were struggling with bills. We saw this, but not in our tenants, but outside of our tenants, people were struggling. And then we realized, okay, so what can we do? What can we do to make sure that living in our houses is cheaper? And then it's when we realized, we did a massive study. We started looking into technologies. What can we introduce in order to run the business cost, the running cost of the houses lower? And then it's when we suddenly just realized, oh my God, if we apply all of these things, suddenly our houses are so much cheaper. That is, you know, it's even a win-win scenario. It's a winner scenario for me because I have a house that is to a very high standard of insulation, which have great EPCs, it has the latest technologies. It's a house that is in great condition. The tenants love living on it, so they stay for very long periods of time. You know, you're talking between 3 to 5 years every tenant. You know, so we don't have voids, we don't have anything. So let's reinvest in ourselves rather than just keep on growing. And then, so we decided to put a huge amount of money to actually retrofit all of these technologies in our houses. And that's where we are at the moment.
And this is Raquel Queral. If you have any more questions or want to know a little bit more about how we work and how we can potentially work together, just drop me an email at thegreenlandlady@gmail.com. Thank you very much and have a good evening.